We just had a huge row. No. And I suppose, yes, I'm trying to think of occasions, but yes, I think people do. Not in the family, though.
No.
I feel I can take it because they're like yours. I think my family are funny as well.
Yeah, and I think that they're the last people, actually, that they want you to keep your feet on the ground and not get a bit carried away with that. I think the weird thing about being funny is that when you start making a living out of it, then you start to analyse it a little bit.
Yes.
Which you probably shouldn't do.
No.
It's because it can disappear very quickly if you've done it. But everything is analysing, isn't it? If you're doing a play and you've got to think, how will I get this? Am I serving this joke right? What's the timing here? What is that? Are those the best words to get the laugh in? So the minute you're doing all of that, I think this is where I've got a little bit of a problem of, well, now I'm really doing the technique of comedy rather than the thing that happened at the very beginning, which was just being who I've been as a kid always, and trying to be funny and get laughs, whatever possible way I can. That's what I feel a little bit.
But that's bound to go a bit, though, isn't it? But I think it's replaced. It's because you've got more knowledge. That's all. Yeah, haven't you? It's because you've learnt so much.
Yeah, that's right. And you're allowed to train. It's sort of training on the job, really. It's training on the job. Yes, it is. Yeah. Have you ever felt humiliated by anything you've been asked to do?
Very close to it with The Wife of Bath. Having to have sex with a very young, rather gorgeous Paul Nicholls. I was very scared about that. And thank God he was such a nice bloke and really good fun, and we could have a laugh about it because, I just felt, I've got to hide stuff. I can't, some people, okay, they don't seem to mind. But I was brought up with the nuns, wasn't it? So I did have massive underwear, really big, like surgical underwear that sort of covered everything. I was afraid of stray pubes. I was afraid of this coming out, that, and all of that. That, because I'm not that kind of person. I wasn't the kind of person in The Wife of... I'm not the kind of person in a lot of the parts, but her especially, I suppose, because she was sort of easy sexually. And I thought, well, I'm not. I'm sort of slightly embarrassed and, it's got to be a laugh. And so that could have been humiliating.
Have you ever been in a sketch where you thought, oh, my God, look at me? Or do you absolutely relish that chance to
look grotesque and things? No, I love looking grotesque and things. I've got no problem with it the other way. In fact, I suppose it's easier in some ways. Yeah. Occasionally, I've just done something where I played an old woman. Well, she wasn't that much older than me, but I suppose. But anyway, she was an oldish actress, and I thought, oh God, I was fed up of looking at myself with this grey hair and looking ancient and thinking because I'm getting to that age, I suppose. A little bit. I felt a little bit of that. I loved playing her. She was a fabulous character. I occasionally felt a bit.
I've got a feeling that, certainly for me, as you get a bit older, your skin gets a little bit thinner with what you will allow to yourself to perform, with the stupidity of it all. Having said that, I'm quite happy to show my arse and fall over as long as I ever can. Yeah. But there are some moments when I just think, actually, that's undignified. It's suddenly undignified this week. It wasn't last week. And I don't know if... I think that might be an age thing.
I think it is an age thing, but I think it's an age thing because maybe you don't perhaps need to do it anymore as well. Maybe it's a need. When you're younger, you're still proving so much and all of that. And then you just... how much do I need to do this anymore?
That's absolutely right. I think that's absolutely right. I mean, you one of the things you've done, of course, is you've broken a lot of barriers when it comes to playing older women, because you've played a lot of much older women when you were much younger.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I loved that.
So, did you?
I was obsessed with my own grandmother, I think. She lived with us and was completely potty, really. Well, she'd had a couple of strokes. I'm always saying this joke, but my brothers used to say, a third stroke.
She will be dead.
I think the third one probably did it.
Oh dear.
So she was a bit kind of not with it, and there were terrible things that went on. And so as a small child, she was utterly, completely fascinating. We were stuck with her all day. My mother was at work and things like that, And
did she know that you used her as a bit of a...
No, because she died when I was 10. Oh. So that was it. But I think that was it, the fascination with what happens to them physically as well. People's faces, their noses get bigger and the hair and, and she had one yellow tooth in the middle of it. All of that, it was just...
But obviously you had great affection for her, obviously.
Yeah, she was a bit frightening, but yes. Yes, somewhere, yeah.
If you had to choose a moment from your own career, comedy moment, what that you enjoyed the most of all, that you've loved and cherished, what would it be?
I think it would have to be Mrs. Overall.
I think so too.
Yeah. Like, there's something about her kind heart and the sort of little frail sort of thing of her. I think it would have to be her. And she's Birmingham and everything, where I'm from. And I loved doing it. It was such a laugh to do.
Well, did Vic come up with that idea and bring it to you, or did you talk about that character first? How did it come
she
back?
wrote Acorn Antiques, and it was just there it was, and there was the cleaner that came in, and I said, "What, sort of Amy Turtle-ish?" And she said, "Yeah, that's it." And then because it was all sort of very bad telly, it was meant to be. Then I remember hovering, looking at the monitor and seeing where I could have put the tray in shot where it shouldn't be, and that sort of thing, and then making a round shoulder, because I think that's funny. I just think, because I'm round-shouldered anyway, it was easier to stand like that. And, so it just sort of came about, No, there's no, she just wrote it.
You said that you think that comedy is harder than straight acting. Well, why do you think that?
Well, it's harder because it isn't something that is natural in people. And I think so you have your own timing, and it's a kind of reading of audiences. You don't do that with tragedy and with an ordinary straight drama. You don't have to read an audience in order to play a gag. Do you know what I mean? I know you must know that there's so much you think, no, I'm not going to do it like that. This audience simply isn't going to go there. I know what they're going to like. This lot are going to like. And so you have a real dialogue. And I think unless you have it's bad instinct. So it's not something that can be taught. So I think it's harder from that point of view. And the other thing about it is if you're doing a comedy on stage, you know instantly if something hasn't worked. So you have to, because there's no laugh. I mean, how demoralising. They didn't laugh. Right. Do you know what I mean? So you're constantly... So it's much harder from that point of view. You don't know in a tragedy with you can hear them sometimes, but it doesn't matter if they don't do that either.
Immediate response. They're sort of the editors, aren't they, the audience? Yeah. Certainly in TV comedy as well, we use the audience as the editor, which I get so pissed off when people talk about canned laughter. And you think, no, we have definitely done this in front of an audience. And one of the reasons we've done it is because we need the audience to tell us which bits are working and which bits aren't.
Yes.
Have you ever had a moment where you thought, this is a definite laugh, I'm sure of it, and then it hasn't got
and
a
then
laugh?
Nothing, yes. God, they don't... Things... And because Trevor Nunn was because he directed Acorn Antiques, and he was sort of saying, we have to be careful of rehearsal room laughs. Things that we thought were hilarious in rehearsal. No, nothing. Audience didn't get. And other things that are quite little, never got laughs. Huge laughs from the audience. I mean, I know.
Are you a bit of a tart for a laugh?
Oh, yeah, like a tart. Oh, yes, I could be dreadful. Yeah, are you?
Yeah.
What a damn question.
Well, it's like when you said, this audience aren't going to go there. I know what they'll like. I know I've thought that and thought, I know what they like. I give them loads of that.
Yes,
and then you're dishing out 4 little gags in a row, something to do with your arse or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you think, actually, I've forgotten the character now. And I've completely dropped the ball, but I've been a bit of a whore for laughing.
And we've all had a laugh, so that's fine.
I'm done. Oh. That's great.
Oh, it was really enjoyable.
Oh, that's great.
He's back, ripping through TV schedules. Charlie Brooker's Screen Wipe is next on BBC4. And later, rebuilding a nation from scratch. The Why Democracy season continues with the Iron Ladies of Liberia at 10.